Imagine spending $400 on a suit, only to discover that after a handful of trips to the dry cleaner, the chest begins to bubble, the lapels lose their crisp shape, and the fabric slowly separates from the inner lining. At that point, there is no easy repair, no simple alteration, and no way to restore the jacket to its original form. What failed wasn't necessarily the fabric, it was the hidden construction underneath. The invisible layer inside every suit jacket determines how it fits, how it ages, and ultimately how long it survives. Yet most buyers never think to ask what's inside before handing over their money. In this video, we're ranking 11 popular suit brands based on one critical factor that most retailers never mention: construction quality. 8 of these brands rely on inexpensive glued construction, while only 3 invest in stitched canvas that can maintain its shape for decades. Surprisingly, many of them sell within the same price range, proving that price alone tells you almost nothing about true quality. Before looking at individual brands, it's important to understand what separates a great suit from one destined to fail. Every suit jacket contains an internal layer positioned between the outer fabric and the lining. This hidden component provides structure, determines how naturally the jacket drapes, and influences how it responds to years of wear. The cheapest method is known as fused construction, where manufacturers attach this layer using heat-activated adhesive. It allows factories to produce suits quickly and cheaply, but the glue gradually breaks down through exposure to heat, moisture, sweat, and repeated dry cleaning. Eventually, the fabric begins separating, creating bubbles and permanent wrinkles that cannot be repaired. A step above is half canvas construction, where a floating canvas is stitched through the chest and lapels, while the lower portion remains fused. At the highest level sits full canvas construction, using horsehair or linen stitched throughout the jacket, allowing it to mold naturally to the wearer's body while remaining durable enough to last for decades. At the bottom of the ranking sits H&M, a brand that attracts buyers with affordable suits costing around $200. On the surface, the offer appears tempting, especially for someone shopping on a limited budget. However, a closer inspection reveals why the low price comes with serious compromises. Every H&M suit relies entirely on fused construction, using glue rather than stitched canvas to hold its shape. Polyester blends dominate the fabric selection, while the overall manufacturing cost is estimated to be only a small fraction of the retail price. Customer reviews tell a remarkably consistent story. Pants frequently split after only a few wears. Jacket linings begin separating. Pockets loosen at the seams, and the fabric quickly loses its appearance. These suits are built to survive a single occasion, a wedding, job interview, or formal event, but not years of regular use. Once the adhesive starts failing, no tailor can reverse the damage. What initially looks like a bargain ultimately becomes an expensive replacement cycle. The next brand on the list is Zara, another retailer known for fashionable designs that immediately capture attention. At first glance, Zara suits appear modern, stylish, and perfectly suited for today's trends. Their slim silhouettes, polished fabrics, and contemporary cuts photograph beautifully, making them popular among younger buyers. Unfortunately, appearance doesn't always reflect construction quality. Nearly every Zara suit uses fused construction, relying on adhesive instead of stitched canvas beneath the surface. While the company briefly experimented with higher-end tailoring in limited collections, those products never became a permanent part of the lineup. The larger issue lies in Zara's overall philosophy. Its clothing is designed around rapidly changing fashion cycles, rather than long-term durability. A suit that feels fashionable today may appear outdated within months, while the underlying glued construction prevents extensive alterations that could extend its life. Combined with stitching complaints reported by customers, the result is a garment that struggles to justify its price once the excitement of the latest trend begins to fade. Kenneth Cole occupies a different segment of the market, positioning itself as professional menswear for young executives entering the workplace. With prices ranging from $300 to $500, many buyers naturally expect premium fabrics and superior tailoring. Unfortunately, the reality rarely matches those expectations. Most suits continue using fused construction alongside synthetic heavy fabric blends that prioritize lower manufacturing costs over long-term performance. Polyester linings, artificial fibers, and inexpensive buttons dominate the material list despite price tags competing with brands offering genuine half-canvas construction and fine Italian wool. Customer feedback frequently highlights inconsistent sizing, uncomfortable synthetic fabrics that trap heat, and stitching that begins loosening after relatively short periods of wear. The greatest disappointment isn't simply the construction itself, but the value proposition. At this price level, consumers have access to significantly better alternatives built using traditional tailoring techniques. Kenneth Cole charges premium prices while delivering construction methods that belong in a far lower category, making it one of the weakest values available in department store menswear. Moving into the middle of the rankings brings us to Calvin Klein, a brand whose name carries significantly more prestige than many of its competitors. For decades, Calvin Klein has marketed itself as the perfect combination of modern design and understated luxury, leading many buyers to assume its tailoring reflects that reputation. However, beneath the clean lines and elegant appearance lies the same fused construction used by far less expensive brands. Jackets are produced using adhesive rather than floating canvas, limiting both durability and the garment's ability to mold naturally to the wearer's body over time. The fabrics are generally an improvement over entry-level competitors, with a greater emphasis on lightweight wool blends and cleaner finishing, but the internal construction remains the limiting factor. As a result, customers are paying a noticeable premium for branding and style rather than superior craftsmanship. While Calvin Klein suits perform well for occasional office wear or formal events, they rarely justify their price when compared with brands offering traditional tailoring techniques at similar cost. Another familiar department store name is Tommy Hilfiger, a company best known for blending classic American styling with modern fashion. Its suits often appeal to professionals seeking a polished appearance without entering the luxury price range. Unfortunately, much like several brands already discussed, Tommy Hilfiger continues relying almost entirely on fused construction. On the outside, the jackets feature attractive patterns, respectable tailoring, and recognizable branding. But internally, they share many of the same weaknesses found in less expensive alternatives. Repeated dry cleaning, heat exposure, and everyday wear gradually weaken the adhesive bonding the jacket together, increasing the risk of bubbling and permanent distortion over time. Fabric quality generally falls into the mid-range, with wool blends offering reasonable comfort but little distinction from competitors. Buyers expecting exceptional longevity may ultimately be disappointed. While Tommy Hilfiger succeeds in delivering stylish business attire, its construction simply doesn't provide the durability expected at its retail price, making it another brand where image outweighs engineering. The first truly worthwhile step upward comes with Suit Supply, a company that has built its entire reputation around offering exceptional tailoring without charging traditional luxury prices. Unlike many department store brands, Suit Supply invests heavily in half-canvas construction across much of its collection, allowing jackets to drape naturally while maintaining their shape through years of regular wear. Instead of relying primarily on synthetic blends, the company sources quality wool from respected Italian mills, giving its suits a noticeably softer feel and a richer appearance. Attention to detail extends throughout the garment, from carefully shaped lapels and strong stitching to canvassing that gradually molds to the wearer's body. The result is a suit that not only looks better when new, but continues improving with use rather than deteriorating. While Suit Supply costs more than many entry-level options, buyers receive genuine tailoring techniques instead of expensive branding. For many professionals, it represents one of the strongest values available before entering true luxury menswear. Higher still is Spear & Mackay, a brand that has quietly earned tremendous respect among menswear enthusiasts despite remaining relatively unknown to the average shopper. Rather than investing heavily in advertising campaigns or celebrity endorsements, the company channels its resources into fabric quality and traditional construction. Many of its suits feature half-canvas designs, premium wool from renowned mills, and precise tailoring that rivals garments costing considerably more. Customers consistently praise the exceptional value offered at its price point, noting impressive stitching, balanced proportions, and excellent durability after years of wear. Unlike fashion-focused brands that redesign collections every season, Spear & Mackay concentrates on timeless styles that remain relevant year after year.